Why did he drop out? In the room, we have Katie Irwin, who is here in New York, and Randy Charles in Austin, Texas. Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure's all mine, Upton.
All right, let's get started. Why do we think he dropped out, Randy? Was it too many women and these allegations that kept coming out?
Well, first of all, you're wrong when you say that he dropped out. He just suspended his campaign, meaning that he can still re-enter the race if he clears up these allegations against him.
Okay, and do you believe the allegations are false? I mean, even though it was suspension, it's still dropping out as far as I see it.
Well, it doesn't really matter, because basically when you're a political candidate, you're judged in the court of public opinion. And where there's smoke, there's usually fire, or at least that's what the people believe. So if all these women come out with allegations against him, it doesn't really matter if they've got evidence to back it up. People are going to believe it, and he's got an irrecoverable PR nightmare on his hands.
So I take it you're happy he dropped out?
I am.
Katie, what about you? Are you happy? You think it was ruining the image of the Republicans even worse than it probably already is?
Absolutely. He was the Howard Dean of the Republican Party of this election. And, you know, he's a bombastic 999. I mean, you know, flip 99 over, it's 666. The devil.
And Randy, do you think that he succumbed to pressure by the Republican Party to drop out or, you know, get out of the race?
I don't think yet, but I think that the party would have gotten on him eventually, because I don't think that he's what they want to put forth as their...
But going beyond that, do you think he was an embarrassment to the party? I mean, here women kept coming out with allegations.
You watch these debates, right, and you've got like 9 Republican candidates that are debating, and you know that 7 or 8 of them are virtually unelectable. So basically, I think we're at the point as a party where we should just have all of the losers or like the unelectable candidates drop out and pave way for candidates who actually stand a chance at winning.
Right, but for a minute, forget 6 months from now. Was Herman Cain doing a disservice to the Republican Party today?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. Agreed. And Katie, what do you think? Agree?
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I would say that I would have to agree. He was simply, if I may be so bold, the black face to show that the Republicans would hypothetically be willing to elect a ethnic minority.
I
don't think that's bold as much as I think it's racist, but I don't think that the Republicans stooped so low to just support the black candidate. I think that he was in this for himself to begin with, and we just kind of got stuck with him.
And do you think it ended up maybe hurting the Republican Party more than helping? I mean, you had a lot of people, a lot of liberal media just laughing at him, you know, constantly.
Absolutely. Our job right now is not to tear each other down. It's to build the party up against the Democrats, and we're not doing a very good job of that.
So who do you think Herman Cain will end up endorsing?
I believe if he's smart, he'll end up endorsing Mitt Romney, but if Mitt Romney's smart, he'll reject his endorsement, because I don't really think anyone wants the Herman Cain name affiliated with their campaign.
Katie, you disagree?
No, I think I absolutely, if I was an intelligent Republican, would clearly at least have one. I absolutely would not take the Herman Cain endorsement. It's an embarrassment. And Mittens Romney, Mitt, which is short for Mittens, is
that's news to me. Now, Randy, we saw a big youth turnout in the 2008 election. A lot of people saying, you know, the youth are a big reason that Barack Obama won. Do you think that same youth is going to turn out for this election, or are they kind of apathetic, you know, that they put the person they wanted in office and they haven't seen a lot of changes?
I hope so, and I hope that every one of those youth voters that showed up last time will remember that 4 years later they still don't have jobs, and I hope that they will show up to vote again.
Oh,
and
wow.
not mistake twice.
Katie, what do you think?
I think that those jobless sorts are going to be the exact ones that do not show up to vote, which I think Mittens can count on to be a vote for him instead of against him, because I think given the choice between a Mormon, though the musical is very popular, and of course our wonderful Barack Obama, who, you know, some people have been disillusioned towards, he's still damn cool. And that's what's important to the young voter. Coolness.
Katie, you said that they're not going to show up. Why do you think that they won't show up again?
Because they're stupid, disillusioned, and most of them are deciding that they want to be anarchists, which means they will just simply choose to not participate in their civil right and duty, and choose to not participate versus perhaps making at least a stand towards their interests.
So they'll choose not to participate, but I'm sure they'll gladly accept their welfare checks.
I know, they're assholes. I have a job, and I'm bitter that my tax money goes to supporting these loafabouts. These
All right.
with a name of 99. Oh.
All right, and on that note, we'll leave off with one final question. 11 months from now, Occupy Wall Street. Will there be protesters? What do you think what do you think will come of that, Randy?
That's a good question. I mean, I think that as someone who believes in civil liberties, first and foremost, I think our right to protest is precious. But I really hope someone forces them out of there for good, and that someone sends them to the shower.
Are there any protesters down in Austin with you?
There is a small Occupy Austin contingent, and I do walk by them on a pretty regular basis, and I have a feeling they are just as dirty and smelly and useless as the ones.
It's a little bit harsh. Katie, what about you?
Less dirty. New York does everything to the utmost, including its filthiness. I'm going to have to say that I believe the 99% or the Occupy Wall Streeters were full paid into the collection of free Tibet types and people that are still protesting the war in Nam as if it's still going on.
Because that's one thing you and I can agree on.
All right, well, I think that's more than enough if you guys can agree on one thing. I guess time will tell what happens. Thanks so much for joining us on Eruptin.com. Katie, a pleasure as always. Randy, thanks for calling in. We'll see you guys next time.
Anytime.